25 to 1 odds, according to the bookies. Who, I don't even know how you track that.
Yeah, how do they determine papal bracket breakers?
Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the Recurring Bosscast. I'm Jet from SplitKick.com. With me is Matt from Biff Bam Pop and the Screaming Ego.
What's going on?
And Jason from Inside Gaming Daily and Slick Gaming.
I can't believe it's 11 episodes.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah.
So, at 11 episodes at every other week, that means we've been committed to this for at least 22 weeks.
Yep.
It's pretty crazy.
That's about right.
Not including some of the beta episodes, which are somewhere floating around on the internet.
I actually have them. I have them all downloaded.
Nice.
I have my audio from all of them downloaded.
I think they're still on my site, inthirdperson.com, but I uploaded them to some really shady file transfer place while we didn't have SplitKick serving up the show. Maybe we'll put them up as lost episodes someday.
Maybe somebody stole them, and now we're just a huge hit overseas, and we just don't know it.
They're just like, when are these guys going to put out another currently unnamed podcast?
Yeah,
We've only
exactly.
done 3.
The cup.
Yeah.
So, Jason, what else is going on with you?
Lots of crazy news. So,
All right.
Where to start? All right, so Laura and I found our apartment. So,
Woo!
we signed for it and everything, and exactly 1 month from today is when I'll be moving. So,
Really?
yeah, so in April I'll be back in California for good. Pretty exciting.
NorCal or SoCal?
North. We'll be North California, but we're in South Bay, like south of San Fran. We'll be in Sunnyvale. And
Sunnyvale.
I know, it's pretty cool. Hopefully there's no hellmouths. And we'll be moving. It'll be nice. Apparently it was 70 degrees yesterday, so I'm excited for that too.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So now I just got to get there's a lot of things I guess I thought about, but I didn't really think about a lot. Like, yeah, moving, but I got to get a new bank account. I have to transfer all of my credit information, to that new address, all my bills and all that stuff. So that's going to kind of take a while. But
I moved in September. I just changed my address today.
yeah, exactly. So
I've moved twice now. I still haven't changed my address with the government.
Mm-hmm.
I've changed my driver's license and my health card.
Oh yeah, driver's license. I got to get that too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyways, so that happened. It's a big relief, and we found a really nice place. It's pretty cheap. It was a kind of miraculous story because Laura and I were thinking, man, we really needed a 2x1 apartment, 2x1 bath. That would be ideal. And they had one open, but it was with wood floors, and I really wanted carpet, and it was on the 3rd or 4th floor, but we wanted a lower one for moving and for her cat. And then 2 days later, we were like, hey, we really need to decide this week. And then they called us and we're like, hey, we just opened up this 2x1 with carpet on the 2nd floor. Do you guys want it? And we're like, oh my God, yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was something you see in a movie. So it was pretty cool.
Everything fell into place.
Yeah, it was meant to be. So, other than that, I'm not going to talk about that. I had talked to Jet at the end of the last recording. So I wrote this on here to remember. But I actually have a separate blog I've somehow never mentioned on the Bosscast. So, what's sad? I don't even know the URL. It's sad. I really use it. It's a Tumblr blog, and it's aworldofgames.tumblr.com. And it's a collection of all of my arcade game tokens, tickets, and cards and stuff. Wow. And since I was maybe 10 or so, I played arcade games whenever I could and would keep the tickets because I thought they looked neat. And then when I became older, I realized wow, I have a neat little collection going. So I would then strive to go to arcades and get said tokens and tickets and whatnot. And maybe 2 years ago, I finally started doing a Tumblr blog to have pictures of them all online. Because in my room, they're all in this cabinet and they're all in plastic baggies like an obsessive compulsive person. So that's there. But the World of Games, I also kind of expanded it to include more of all arcade exploits. So now whenever I go to arcades, I've been still collecting the tokens and the tickets, but I'm also taking pictures of interesting cabinets and cool artwork and just trying to really immortalize that somewhat lost culture of arcade games.
I like it. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been really fun, and the response has been really good. Like, it's not crazy popular, but I'm surprised that, on Tumblr you get reblogs and likes. I'm surprised that so many people reblog and like some of the things I put up there. So it's cool. It's been fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
You are quite the prolific creator of video games content. When are we going to get the Angel Fire Jason Jasicki portal of just, hey, check me out over here and here and here?
I should. Yeah. I didn't even think about it until Jet, you had brought it up last week that I guess I am kind of all over the place. But I try to keep it all organized on Slick Gaming. So if you go to Slick Gaming, that connects to everything because there's tabs for World of Games and Anthology and all the Machinima stuff. So it's all kind of there. It's the hub world.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what's been going on.
I mean, at work, actually, a couple of weeks ago, we moved offices, and now that we're all settled in, our technical director sent out an all-staff email saying, hey, I want to put together an arcade cabinet for the office. Anyone
Nice.
want to volunteer? And immediately jumped in and said, will this arcade machine play Street Fighter? And he said yes, and then I said, count me in.
Nice.
So, I have no idea how to build an arcade machine. On the internal wiki for this particular project, I put in, here's a couple of links for fight stick buttons and joysticks, and please make them Japanese parts so it's better to play Street Fighter on rather than the North American laptop and concave buttons.
Strangely, my brother actually built an arcade cabinet. It was years ago. So he used X Arcade was his go-to like arcade stick thing. And I'm sure it's customizable for the buttons, but yeah, definitely check out X Arcade. And they're still around. I know they are. And then I don't know what you want to do for game-wise, but I mean, you could just emulate if you wanted.
Yeah, the plan is for a MAME machine.
Yeah. His MAME had hundreds. So really, when you get the hundreds, you got to make sure you have a good computer to run it. So keep that in mind too.
All right, will do.
But definitely a fun endeavor.
Hoping so. Matt, what's going on with you?
I feel so boring in comparison to everything that just happened right now.
Boring life. Aw.
Yeah. Literally nothing. I've had zero time to do pretty much anything in the last 2 weeks, but I enjoy listening to Jason's collection stories.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, literally with me, not a whole heck of a lot. Played a bit of games. I've been playing Call of Duty.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's basically it. Just working and sleeping and working.
Yeah.
So.
Don't we all?
Yeah, unfortunately. Chet, bring us back up. What have you been doing?
Yeah, the arcade machine thing, and I went to my cousin's wedding. A very close cousin of mine. She got married. That's wonderful. Adrian and PJ, congratulations yet again.
Nice,
It was an
congratulations.
awesome party. Great time. Everyone was happy. And then celebrated the next day by going to a Raptors game. So
Ooh.
the new husband and wife, they are huge basketball fans, and the family's big into basketball. So 35 of us ended up going out to see the Toronto Raptors play the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Nice.
And it was looking a little scary for a while. We were down by 16 at one point.
Oh my
and I was
gosh.
thinking, oh man, it's the classic Raptors basketball. But miraculously, they came back and won.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
wonderful
There you go.
weekend all around.
You know,
Good
that
stuff.
reminds me, I actually went to that Bulls game. Forgot to mention that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they was up and down against the Jazz, but we had a Marco Bellinelli three-pointer with 5 seconds to go, put him ahead.
Nice.
That was crazy. Like, the energy in that room was just so cool. So cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most exciting basketball moment I ever remember experiencing was I was in Michigan for March Madness. It was the very first game in the first round, and it was a really high-ranked team against a really low-ranked team. And the low-ranked team, I can't remember the school. It was, I think, Northwestern. Does that ring a bell? They were down by like 20 points, and they worked it all the way back to down 2 with no time on the clock. Guy takes a three-pointer, misses it. The ball's almost out of, rebounds like super wide, and he grabs the ball like behind the three-point line, turns around, chucks it, Hail Mary, nails it.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh.
Upset. And the reaction was just shock. There was a giant gasp in the arena and then just silence.
That's awesome.
Could not believe it. And then even 10 minutes after the game, it was just this weird buzz
Weird.
of shock and surprise that I've never experienced in a sports arena before. It was amazing.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, so let's talk about some games. Matt, I know you said you had a relatively boring life, but have you at least been gaming?
Yeah, earlier on, like pretty much right after we finished the last podcast, I beat Crysis 3.
Ooh.
I don't know. I wasn't totally impressed with it.
So, Davey Huggs has his Crysis 3 review out.
I read it, and I would say I agree pretty much wholly with it.
Okay.
Yeah. I never played... See, he kind of referred to Crysis 1 and Crysis 2. I never played them, so I can't really compare. But I know, just simply from playing this, like the game looks great, but it just felt so empty. I don't know. I didn't really... There wasn't much to do. The levels weren't really all that great. I found myself like, ooh, this looks great. This looks good, but what am I doing here? Like, I'm just shooting things and running and shooting. I don't know. It didn't impress me very much.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
Was there any multiplayer aspects you liked about it, or no?
I didn't really dig deep into the multiplayer.
Yeah.
I watched a bunch of stuff about it in depth because I didn't have a chance to actually play it, but apparently it's not much better. So I don't know. And as I said, I've been playing Call of Duty as well, so any other multiplayer to me lately anyway doesn't really stack up. So
Understandable.
yeah. And then Black Ops as well. So I've never gotten prestiged in any Black Ops game or any Call of Duty game for that matter. And I just got my second prestige last night in Black Ops 2.
Wow.
So I seem to be better at this iteration of Call of Duty than any other iteration of Call of Duty. So I'm sticking with it.
Nice.
And that's my story. Yeah. But I'm enjoying it. It's good. And I don't normally enjoy Call of Duty games all that much, but I seem to be enjoying this one.
What's your general loadout?
I use a Fallow SW
Okay.
with Full Metal Jacket, the Reflex Sight, and the Quick Reload.
Is that like an automatic machine gun? I can't remember.
I believe it's an assault rifle.
Okay, it's all right.
I believe. I could be completely wrong. But I just like it because there's no, like, very, very minimum to almost zero recoil. And it's a single shot. So you have to tap the button every time you want to shoot. But I know I've found it really good. That's the majority of my gaming has been done on the Fallow SW and the sniper rifle.
When I play Call of Duty, I just pick the gun that shoots the most bullets fastest. I'm very unrefined in my approach. I see a dude, I just hold the trigger and move the right stick around to aim until something dies, and it's usually me.
Yeah, that's a lot of people, I think, feeling.
I don't have the patience or the precision for a single shot gun.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Anything else you've been playing there, Matt?
I played and beat Castlevania, but I know Jason did as well, so I'll talk with him when he talks about it.
We'll do a back and forth.
Jason, what are you playing?
Segue.
Hey, I also played Castlevania.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, go figure. Yeah, I finished it yesterday, and I didn't think too highly of it, so I don't know. Like, I don't want to give a lot away for the game, but it's relatively short.
Mm-hmm.
And that's already a strike against Castlevania games. And it felt like because Lords of Shadow before it on the consoles is a reboot of Castlevania, and whether or not the series needed to be rebooted is, questionable to the individual, but maybe on the consoles it did, but there really is no reason to reboot the franchise on the handhelds, because the last 7 handheld games that have come out, all the ones in the DS, all the ones in the Game Boy Advance, and the PSP remake of Dracula X Chronicles were all, phenomenal.
Yeah.
So why they changed the formula to suit this new reboot doesn't make sense to me. And, but I think maybe before the show, Jet brought up that, I can't think of the guy's first name, but Igarashi is the creator. I don't think he had a role in this game, and maybe it kind of shows, because it's just not as powerful. It's very lackluster. And, I didn't like the ending. It was so abrupt. Very, a few missed opportunities here and there, and it just didn't feel like what I wanted Castlevania to feel like.
Yeah, I felt like it should have continued at the end for at least another little bit anyway.
Yeah, but, exactly. And the power-ups weren't that cool. The leveling system was a joke. It just felt kind of... It was a God of War clone, and that's sad, because Castlevania used to be something more iconic.
Yeah, plus
hopefully
with all the quick time events and all that, very similar to God of War.
Yeah, I'm not too mad about QuickTime events. Like, I don't mind them at all, where some people, would chastise whoever wanted them. But I think they're
you didn't find it
okay.
gratuitous, though? Like, you didn't find that there were too many of them?
No, I didn't find there was too many because I feel like maybe the QuickTime event is maybe the only way to really get a crazy cool amount of like death sequence at the end of a boss fight. The only counterexample would be some portions of a God of War game, but I feel like if you're going to fight the enemy, like a cool 3-button QuickTime event at the end might be a neat way to see you slice their head off or something.
Yeah, true.
So I don't know, like I'm okay with them, and it was very forgiving too. So if you mess up, it wasn't too bad to go back, which is also kind of strange, but yeah, I don't know. I think I did a tweet earlier. I would recommend literally any of the other ones before I recommend this one to someone playing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, I think we agree on that.
Yeah. I'll have to check your review out for it for sure.
Just want to throw in there, if we're talking about QuickTime events, Asura's Wrath is the apex of the QuickTime event. Those mechanically, they're pretty broken because they don't actually impact what happens in the scene. But the things that happen in those scenes are just so out of this world, it makes it totally worth it.
Yeah.
So I know that some of the Splitkit guys have gone back and played that, and I know it's not for everyone, but man, it is definitely something that people should at least give it a shot. See if it's for you.
Definitely. I want to look into it.
I guess Castlevania, Lords of Shadow, Mirror of Fate, not so much.
Yeah, too many subtitles. Just stick with Castlevania. But beyond that, I also played and beat, and the review is up now for Etrian Odyssey 4 on the 3DS. And it's a dungeon crawling game, and I wouldn't say I'm the most well-versed person in all of dungeon crawlers, but I've played my fair share, so I definitely know what I'm doing in them. But this was probably one of the best versions of the game and the genre game I've ever played. So it's very good. So if you like that sort of grindy RPG, it's similar to Legend of Grimrock if you played that on the PC, or any of the other Etrian Odysseys, or I don't know, there's other ones like the Dark Spire, or any of the old Wizardry games. It's just like that. So it's pretty fun, but very, very specific crowd for it for sure. But it's one of the best. And I rocked 2 fighting games this past week. I picked up Sonic the Fighters for $2 when it was on sale. Downloaded the game, subsequently beat it. I'm going to say 8 minutes later because it's so quick to beat. And, oh man, I had a blast though. That game is so ridiculous. Like the concept just blows my mind.
Nice.
Sega thought it would be okay to do all this, but, it is kind of funny. Apparently the moves that Sonic uses in that game are some of the moves he still uses in Brawl. So awesome. I guess it's like a sequel in that sense, but kind of funny. Anyway, it's a terrible fighting game, but it's also cool because I'm still reading the Sonic comic series, and they have some characters from the comics that were in like Game Gear games were in this one too, so it's neat to see them again. But ultimately, a terrible game that should only be bought for $2 and played by someone for 30 minutes.
And that sale is over now, right?
Yeah, it's over, unfortunately. That was actually a great sale. I don't know if you got anything, Jet, but it was all Sega Fighters.
Yeah, I did see that sale. I bought 2 things. Did
you get Virtua Fighter?
No.
Oh,
I had
really?
that from a previous sale.
Oh, okay.
I bought Dirt 2 and El Shaddai for $3 each.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, I got El Shaddai. Crazy.
All the other sales just... I mean, it's good stuff, but I wasn't really interested. I contemplated Tekken Tag 2 for $20, which... That's a really good price for that game, but I'm probably not going to play it that much. So I tried to just kind of save my money, which I have not been doing all that well in general.
So we're going to chain combo it too, and I also played Darkstalkers Resurrection, which I see Jet has also played.
Yes, I'm reviewing that for Splitkick.
Nice.
Also would have picked that up because I like the fighting games, especially the Capcom ones. So, Jason, tell me all about Darkstalkers Resurrection.
I'm also playing it on Xbox, and for the Darkstalkers series, I've only played Darkstalkers 3 extensively, and I've only dabbled in Night Warriors, which is the other one included in Resurrection. But I'm sure this HD port touched up some of the edges, but hot dang, this game looks so good. Like, for an old game. No, you have to agree. Like it's so smooth, so colorful, and the animations are just fantastic. Animations
are still great, and I think even if you have all the filters off and like just for that style of art, it's still good. Yeah,
that style is a lost art, and it's so cool looking.
I I bought the PS1 ports of those on PSN, I think years ago, all three, and... No, I think it's only the first and the third that are on PSN.
Yeah,
anyway.
the Night Wars is on Saturn.
Yeah, so, I mean, those ports are not that great, and even just playing them, they were a bit slower, there's missing frames, but playing this was a bit of a revelation for me.
Yeah.
Like, I remember playing the original Darkstalkers in the arcade, and remember it being gorgeous and stuff, but it's been a long time since I've seen a Darkstalkers arcade machine, so my primary memory of it was those PS1 ports, which are not that great, but I think immediately when the game booted up and just hearing the sound crystal clear was, that was like, oh wow, this actually is much better quality than the PS1 version, which had that kind of almost digitally sound to it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. And so it still looks great, and I love that plays silky smooth, and it's a lot of fun still.
Yeah, and it's still like incredibly challenging. I get my butt kicked more than this game than any other Street Fighter game. So, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Who do you use in the two games?
Morrigan primarily, but I'm looking into learning Felicia.
Felicia, oh man, Felicia like kicked my butt when I was playing the arcade. She just oh man, she's so unpredictable. Her and I think Lord Raptor is tough. But I try to use Donovan in Night Warriors, and I don't think he's in 3, so I just pick up Morgan. She's easy enough.
Yeah, she's pretty easy.
Yeah,
that's why I've been using her. But I would definitely like to play more of the game. I'm going to play more for Split Kick, but just in general, learning more of the nuances of that game. A lot of people don't give it credit for all of the things it introduced to the fighting game genre.
X moves.
EX moves, air blocking, what was the other thing? There's alpha counters are in there, and just different ways of using meter. I think it had super moves before Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I could be wrong on that.
Might have.
I know there were air fireballs in that game before.
Yeah, there are.
There was dashing before Street Fighter, chain combos before Street Fighter. A lot of things that Darkstalkers pioneered through. And
it was Capcom's experimental series.
Yeah. And a lot of that stuff has carried over and been refined now. I think that Darkstalkers, at this point, kind of sits in between Street Fighter Cross Tekken and Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Wow.
As far as, like, general playstyle. But I think it's still fun to play.
Definitely. Here's hoping to make the 4th one. Just gotta do it.
Yeah. What else have I been... Have you been playing anything else, Jason?
No, that's what I've been rocking so far, so...
Alright. After beating Fire Emblem 3 times now, I know the review just came out, it said twice, but in the time it was editing, I ended up beating it again. I tried playing it a 4th time on lunatic difficulty. I can't even beat the 2nd level. It's crazy. There's just too many guys in that small confined space, and they do too much damage, and I just get owned every single time.
Are you playing casual or hardcore?
Casual.
What's called? Yeah, okay.
But I still die almost immediately, because even if you're on casual, if Chrome dies or your person dies, it's still game over.
Right.
So on the 2nd move, I just get destroyed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I if the game is difficult in a way where there's only one way to beat it, and if it's just it's because you followed one specific sequence of moves that got you through, then that's not all that fun to me. So I just dialed the difficulty back down and started again. But anyway, I've taken that game out for a little while and also played Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D.
Woo, classic.
Nice. What'd you think?
I really like how they ported that game. It is still a classic, one of the greatest games of all time, as considered by many, including me.
Yeah, agreed.
And I don't know if you guys have tried playing that game in the last few years, but it doesn't look very good anymore. If you play it on a Nintendo 64 or play the GameCube disc, it looks like hell. Just the textures are super blurry, and there's not that many polygons in it, so everything looks really blocky. This port just takes it a little further than just up-resing everything, so a lot of the textures have been redone, and I don't know if they've put in more polygons in the models, but they look a little better.
Yeah, definitely Link. He looks better.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but everyone else is kind of not as good.
Yeah, it still looks fantastic on the 3DS, and with the 3D on, some nice little depth of field tricks in there, and the gameplay still holds up for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
That's still one of the 3DS's best games, just because Zelda's Ocarina of Time is so good. Yeah.
I still remember
worth
playing
it.
it for the first time and being like, wow, this looks so great. And now it's like, oh god, what am I playing?
I remember that game consuming my life for a good while.
Yeah.
we used to
same.
go on lunch break and go play it over at our friend's house near the school. We'd be like, oh my god, we have Zelda time.
And I remember when that game first came out, it was sold out everywhere. And
Oh, yeah.
shipments would come in, sell out immediately. You had to be on it in order to get a copy of that game.
I remember it was one of the first games my parents, they got it for me for Christmas. They actually pre-ordered it and waited in line to get it for me. And I was like, oh
That's
my god,
awesome.
you were the best ever.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Did it also come in a gold cartridge?
The
Or was it a
original-
gold cartridge?
The original run did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, I love that game. I remember I would come home after middle school band practice and just beat whatever dungeon was next. And I would do that for like a week, and then eventually I beat the game, and I would just start over and just do it again. So
That's
fun.
awesome.
Yeah, what else have I been playing besides Darkstalkers, Legend of Zelda? Oh, Unfinished One. That was something I picked up when I got PlayStation Plus. It was super cheap. I think it was $3 or so. And I'm going to throw this out there. I think Unfinished One is better than Journey.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. But you weren't the biggest fan of Journey.
No, I'm not.
It's a bit skewed.
So, I mean, The Unfinished Swan is a game about a boy who does a lot of walking in a magical world. It's kind of like Journey, but the big difference here is that there's more gameplay to it. So, I mean, most of the promotional material revolves around kind of that all-white world and throwing the blobs to color everything in so you can see where you're going.
Yeah, but there's a lot more than that.
There's actually, there's more to it than that. And
There's hopping frogs and stuff.
yeah, so, I mean, playing around with those mechanics, it kind of reminds me of Portal. Like an artsy-fartsy Portal. It's pretty short, and yeah, it's neat. I enjoyed the 3 or 4 hours it took to play through it.
Would you recommend getting it at all, or no?
If the thought of an artsy-fartsy Portal excites you, then... I mean, Portal in itself is kind of artsy-fartsy, but
Yeah, it's true.
yeah. Kind of... If you are interested in something like that, then sure. Definitely go for it. There's also a little nod to Journey, which I thought was cute.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's it for me game-wise. Except for one thing, but we'll talk about that in the Bosscast topic of the week. So...
Da-da-da.
We need to get like a theme song for the
That's what I was
Oh,
Bosscast
thinking. We need
audio.
we need theme music.
Theme music for the boss.
Jet, you need to reach back into your back catalog of tunes. Give us a cool theme music intro.
I'll look into that. So
Actually, no, we should also have theme music for whenever you say, like, and I'm with Jason, and then I have, like, World Wrestling Federation music play, and then I'm like, oh, yeah.
Nice.
Or not, I don't know.
That could be cool. It could also not be cool.
It could also be horrible, so
Yeah.
let's just stick with what we have.
Yeah. Did I say what the Bosscast topic of the week
Not
is?
yet.
No? Okay. BioShock Infinite. That's out in a few weeks, and this is probably the last show before the game comes out, so we thought we should talk about it. Talk about that and everything BioShock related. I'm going to start this off on a really weird note. Did any of you guys see the news about Ken Levine saying that he was the one that killed the BioShock movie?
Yep, I just saw it today.
I did not see that, no.
So, I mean, I don't remember all of the details of it, but I think there were some creative differences with the writer of the movie and Ken Levine, and then the budget got cut like crazy, and Ken Levine said, yeah, no, we're not doing this anymore.
That's good for him, though. I mean, that series is one that is just thrives on story, and if it's... I don't know, if you're going to tarnish that story, you're ruining the whole movie. So
Yeah.
I'm just hearing about it now, I'm sticking with what Ken said. That's probably for the best.
Yeah. I'd be intrigued by a BioShock movie. I think the video game series that would make for the best movies, Assassin's Creed.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I want
would
to
agree.
see... I still really want to see Metroid.
Yeah.
It could be done. Apparently Hollywood thinks it's Resident Evil, but I don't think it is.
Or even the Uncharted games.
Oh, yeah.
Although they're kind of like movies by themselves, though.
Yeah.
That should be a topic for itself.
Game
Yeah,
movies?
seriously.
Game movies.
Absolutely.
You know what's sad about game movies? They made some like horrible decisions. I mean, like, why would they make a Tekken movie? There's no reason to make that movie.
Have you seen the King of Fighters movie?
No, oh my god, that's another one. That's just terrible choices. They pick these games that have no stories, yet they deliver a movie with a horrible story. Like, ugh. Oh well, Mortal Kombat's the one exception, I guess.
The first Mortal Kombat movie is okay.
Yeah, it's okay. The second one is complete garbage.
Oh, horrible.
And then the newer one sounds like it might be okay. So.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I think the worst video game movie I've ever seen was House of the Dead, which was a Uwe Boll joint. Remember him?
Yeah, I remember him. I didn't see that, but I heard it was horrible. I thought, oh my gosh, it's the Dungeon Siege one. In the Name of the King, is that what it is?
I think so.
Yeah, terrible. Just a totally bland, medieval fantasy movie. Oh my gosh, waste of talent.
The one biggest travesty in video game movies that really angered me at the time was the Prince of Persia movie.
Oh, really?
Kotaku had a post that the person that was favored to win earn the role of the Prince of Persia was an actual Persian prince.
Oh, wow.
And the guy's credentials was he was trained in horseback riding, sword fighting, martial arts. He was an actor, and he also happened to be a Persian prince.
That is amazing.
And yet they go with Jake Gyllenhaal instead.
Actually, knowing that now, it makes me think a little bit less of the movie.
BioShock.
Yeah, anyways.
Let's start with the first game. Matt, you want to kick this off?
Yeah. Did you guys play it, or did you like it, or how'd it go?
I
obviously played it. I loved it.
Yep,
I was just kind of trying to test the water here and see if you guys did.
Yeah. I mean, going into it, I just started listening to video game podcasts around that time, and I remember all the shows leading up to that game's release were hyping that game up so much, and I hadn't really been following the game, and all of the stuff they were saying didn't really interest me at all. But when the demo came out on Xbox Live, and I played through that, the moment it was done, I said, oh my god, I have to buy this game.
Yeah.
It's still one of the best demos on Xbox Live that I've ever played. Because it just does such a great job of setting up the story and giving you an idea of what the game's going to play like, and then it ends on that crazy cliffhanger. Oh, so good. So yeah, when the game finally came out, bought it on day one and just powered through it. And
that's exactly how I did too.
I really enjoyed it. It was just really neat to see all the different powers, and the world of Rapture was so different and imaginative at the time, and it was just cool to just walk around places, but then you had to fight, and fighting was pretty fun with the combination of guns and the plasmids to do all of the different types of attacks.
Yeah, I agree. I also liked going around picking up the little radios and listening to the people that had recorded all their memories as they went through. And it's basically like, as you're going through, you can listen to them sort of fall further and further into this disarray, into this sort of like psychosis or whatever it is. They're just completely, everybody's dying and everything's going to hell, and you're listening as it's happening. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, BioShock. I mean, so many games after BioShock used that mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
What was I playing that recently? I played a game recently that I did not mention there that had that as well. I can't remember. I think Unfinished Swan does something like that as well, but it's not audio logs.
Yeah.
But yeah, just that whole kind of storytelling through collectible items was definitely a big part of that game.
I just like the sort of complete clash between, like, it looked like the 1940s or 50s, but clearly it was in the future because there was all these powers and things that you could use. And like, actually, no, it wasn't. I guess it was set back in...
It was set back in like the 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyways, I just like the setting of it. I'm a big fan of sort of that period in general in gaming. I like it when it's creepy like that, and I find that that sort of setting makes it extra creepy.
Yeah, I think that was the thing I liked most about it was definitely the atmosphere the game gave off. Just because going back to the sound, like, the game sounded so well. Not just the music and sound effects, but the people talking was really good. Yeah. You would hear drips of water all the time, and that gets to you. And like in the back of your head, you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna get killed. Like I'm going around this corner, and it just made this creepy atmosphere that you still wanted to explore because it looked so cool. And not many games really do that, even now. And so that was just an amazing experience.
And the way the game started off too, it really kind of threw you into it. Like the plane crash, and then you end up in the water, and you swim towards the lighthouse. But then after you like go down deep, and then you come out, and you see the guy get murdered.
Splicer.
Spoilers. But yeah, then you see the guy get murdered, like basically right at the beginning. And then it just lets you out, and it's like, okay, here you go.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, I don't want to go here. What are you doing?
You know you're in for something really intense. You're like, jeez.
Yeah. But
so, what would you guys say was your one favorite scene from the first game? Spoilers, totally fine.
Would you kindly?
Yeah.
That game apexed right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Oh, so
And
cool.
Just that twist. I've heard it's like the System Shock or System Shock 2 twist, but that was new to me.
Same.
Yeah, I'd never played System Shock, so.
And yeah, just kind of that screwball of like, what? I've been tricked into this all along? No!
Exactly. For the sake of not repeating you, because I feel like that was probably the biggest thing, I really liked, it's towards the beginning, and it's really a minuscule thing, but when you're going around this corner and you can see the light shining a shadow of this woman with like a baby carriage.
Yes.
And she's like talking. Yeah, that was just so intense. And it was a precursor to the entire game. And it was a really neat thing. And you just knew the world was it was damned. Like, it's not going to get saved. And that was such a cool moment.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think that, that like I was saying, that game apex in the middle. I kind of felt like it got a little worse towards the end of it, and I would say the worst part of that game is the very end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the very end.
The boss fight.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember it. I feel like I'm getting confused with Bioshock 2.
The end of... Sorry, I guess spoilers. The end of Bioshock 2 is where the place is flooding, and you're trying to blow up the bombs or whatever that are on the...
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
boilers
of. How does one end?
Doesn't Bioshock 1 end with Atlas?
Yeah, who actually ends up being someone else, and then he
Fontaine, right.
Fontaine, he ends up turning into, like, the blue dude from The Watchmen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or the cover of Atlas Shrugged.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was okay.
I like the fact that it gave you multiple endings, too, depending on how you treated the
little sisters.
Yeah, the little sisters.
Pretty intense.
And, there's the whole sort of Bioshock wiki that's online gives you sort of like an outline of what the events are at the end, depending on what you do. I played through it. I think I started a save game, played the end twice with 2 different endings, but apparently there were 4.
Oh.
And, different. 3 or 4 anyway, but, kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And the dialogue is different, and the way they treat you at the end is a little bit different, and the same with the second one as well. So I like that.
Yeah. I remember I had to save all of them. So I remember I saved all of them, but I saw there was different endings, so I think I just YouTubed them and saw them all. Pretty crazy. I like that. I like multiple endings. That's a good way to end a game. I
like multiple endings, but I always take the good one.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just me. Like, it's a character flaw, I think. Or if it's not a flaw, maybe. But, I always take the good one. So I always end up YouTubing the bad ones.
Yeah.
It depends on the game, but I'll always go good ending first, and if I feel like playing it again, then I'll just go for the rest, but I'll usually just YouTube it.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is if you're going through the whole game and the game takes you like 20 hours or something to beat, if you go through it and do the bad ending, you already know it's going to be a bad ending. Like if you're a bad person,
that's true.
It almost feels like it's not worth it. You want to get the best ending possible, so I think that's probably why I do it.
So I'm going to throw this out there.
Yeah.
Did you guys YouTube all of the other love scenes in the Mass Effect games that you did not get yourself?
Totally.
No, I did not. I haven't even thought about that. That's funny. I should do that right after this.
I know Mass Effect 3 has, I think, a dozen or so, or maybe more, depending on the gender of your Shepard.
Yeah,
I know there's a lot of options in that game.
Yeah, I haven't played 3, but thinking of the 1 and 2, like, quote, sex scenes, all I really remember is it being kind of awkward and Shepard having this just blank stare as his character model just, like, moved in, and that was it.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't, I'm going to leave it at that.
I think in the first game, the Liara and Ashley scenes were exactly the same, except that Liara had blue skin and Ashley had white skin.
Yeah, I think I got with Liara the first time.
Nice.
I did as well.
I know I killed Ashley.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, because she was getting in my way with Liara. So
Just cramping your style.
yeah, I know, and I didn't use Ashley or Kaiden or whatever, so it didn't really matter. And I was like, well, she's kind of a nuisance, so she can stay behind.
So you left her there.
Yeah, and I remember the scene on the planet. They're like, Shepard, who are you going to leave behind? This is a big decision. And I'm like, yeah, bam, and I didn't even wait. Just
Yeah. Not really that important. Just
not
stay here.
important to me.
Yeah, I kept Ashley alive, but I did not pursue her because I thought she was racist.
Wow. There you go.
Yeah.
Subplot.
Yeah,
Bioshock.
exactly.
Wait, what made you think she was racist?
Well, just her general views towards alien races. She was very prejudiced against them in general.
I guess. Yeah.
Attitude she carried for. I think she started to turn around in 3. Oh, I don't want to spoil. Started to turn around in 3 a little
Yeah.
bit. But that's
What do you
kind of
mean?
the
She
arc.
died in 1. What are you talking about?
She died in your one.
Yeah, exactly.
But really, the endings don't matter anyway, so.
I haven't beat it yet, so I'm getting behind. I'm going to get to that threshold where people are going to talk about spoilers without saying spoilers, so I need to beat it soon.
Yeah, so Bioshock.
Bioshock.
Yes.
Yeah, that when I finished that game, I mean, to this day, that game still has a very special place in my heart for the times that I had with it when I played it when it first came out, because it was just so amazing at the time, and I'd like to think that it still holds up now. I haven't played it recently, but
Oh, yeah, I'd say so. I think Laura played it within a few months, and it's still great.
Yeah.
Holds up very well.
And just its influence on the other games in this generation. So many games have taken just assorted gameplay and story cues from that series. It's crazy. One of the games that I picked up last summer that the Split Kid guys recommended to me was Singularity. I don't know if you guys played that one from Activision. And what sold me on it, at least purchasing it, was that it was basically a Bioshock bootleg. It was, and when I played it, it was just like, oh man, this is a lot like Bioshock, but with with different characters in it. And I don't know, for whatever reason, it just didn't stick with me at all. It just felt very bland.
Yeah, I've not played it, so I'm not sure.
Matt, have you played the Singularity at all?
No, I haven't played it. But you could be biased just because you played Bioshock first.
Yeah.
Had you played Singularity first, you may have had a different opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, could be right.
Yeah. I mean,
You may have
it's,
been like, oh, Bioshock, it's just a Singularity ripoff.
yeah, I mean, it's from what I played, it's not bad at all. It just felt very derivative. Like, overly derivative for me.
I found that the sort of graphics in Bioshock and the graphics in Dishonored mirrored each other a little bit. They were similar. That weird sort of...
Art
I don't even know
Deco.
how to... Yeah, but I mean, even the character models, like the character faces, they had this certain look to them. I don't know. When I first played Dishonored, that's what it reminded me of, was Bioshock.
Nice. And Dishonored came, 5 years later?
Yeah.
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 So where does Bioshock sit in your pantheon of games? Where'd you rank it? You don't need an exact number, but up there?
Yeah, I'd say top 100 for sure. I'd say probably even top 50.
Okay.
But yeah, that's saying a lot. There's some great games in I'd say my top 50, but
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
one of the best games of this generation.
oh, for sure.
I would say.
Yeah, and not being a fan of many first-person shooters, for the game to have that such an impact on me, I think that says a lot for it. It was really good. I think one of the things I really liked about Bioshock was kind of going off of the point that Matt said, where they just drop you in the world and say, here you go. They never really did anything for you. And so when you, if you run out of ammo, it's like, well, you're out of ammo. You better go get some. I mean, maybe you could buy it, but you might not have any money. And when you get your plasmids, you can pick whatever you want. You're not limited unless, I guess you don't have it yet, but you know what I'm saying. You could pick what you wanted. And even more so, when you could hack stuff, it didn't just happen. You had to, do that pipe dream thing
Yeah,
And
tube thing.
it was pretty cool. Like, and like it always felt like you had to do something to survive. It wasn't just, all right, I go up there and hit X and I'll win. No, you had to hit X, and if you didn't get the pipe straight, you would take damage and probably die because you're getting shot. And that was a neat aspect of that game that not many other games can really do. It's nothing was automated. It was very, very on your level, and that was fun.
To counterpoint, I think you played too much Pipe Dream in Bioshock.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I feel like that's one of the things they did well in transition to Bioshock 2 was that the game that they changed for hacking.
Yes.
So,
You guys cool to talk about Bioshock 2?
yeah.
Sure.
All right, so Jason, take it away.
So Bioshock 2 came out shortly after the first one, and for all intents and purposes, I don't think it was well received at all as much as the first one was, but it wasn't really a bad game. It just wasn't Bioshock 1. And so I had to live in that shadow, and it was never going to get out of it. But still a very fun game, and you got to play as the Big Daddy, which is a neat turnaround. And
Yeah.
it wasn't just like, oh, you're the Big Daddy now, and they played the same game. You actually got like the drill arm, and you interacted more with like little scissors and stuff. And whenever you took steps, they would be like loud thuds, and you could walk outside the Rapture world in the water. And it was neat. It was a fun, I don't know, it's more of like a diversion. It's like a Bioshock 1.5. And it was worth it. I'd say even now it can't be much money. It's probably worth it to pick up if you liked the first one, because it's still a lot of the same stuff. You still get plasmids, you're still killing splicers, and it's a fun continuation.
So I actually did get it. Well, I got it a couple of months ago for less than $10. Played it in advance of the show, and I will say that the hacking game is definitely better. It's simple.
Hacking.
I mean, but the game as a whole, I couldn't get very far into it. It was just lacking a lot of soul that I really liked in the original game.
Yeah.
Like, I
that's
felt
a good way
the
to put it.
intro was just not nearly as strong, and it felt a lot more video gamey. And I never wanted to play as a Big Daddy. I didn't want to go back to Rapture. I felt like the first game closed that off really nicely. And then I just felt like they tried so hard to justify having a game back in Rapture again, and then started writing in like a new antagonist and putting in all the new logs to all of a sudden make her an important thing, yet she never gets mentioned at all in the first game.
Yeah.
And there's an
I think that was a
entire
big
section
thing.
of Rapture that's accessible through this old train station thingy that you supposedly never found in the first one. And
Exactly.
like when I was playing it, I was like, okay, this isn't what I want, but fine, I'll keep going through this. But when I got to the part where you had to protect the little sister as she was sucking out the stuff from the dead people,
The Atom.
Yeah.
yes, the atom from the dead bodies, and the enemies are rushing at you, that's when I turned it off.
Oh my gosh, that was probably the worst part of that game. Yeah, that's kind of rough.
Yeah, I played the first one, died a bunch of times, went, man, this isn't fun at all.
Yeah.
And I hear you have to do that a lot. in
Yeah, you
that
do it a
game.
lot.
Yeah.
There's only one where it's like, oh my god, this is impossible, but you just have to set it up the right way. I don't know. You know, it kind of reminds me right now of the Castlevania Lords of Shadow issue, where Bioshock 2 isn't a bad game. Like, it plays well.
Mhm.
It's just not anything what you really wanted.
Yeah.
And that's a disappointment. So it's just living in the shadow. It can never really live up to it.
Yeah.
And you guys
Yeah, go on.
and you guys played BioShock multiplayer?
I think I played like one match.
One.
Yeah.
I tried it.
Yeah, that was one of the first big single-player games to go multiplayer, and I remember the response being pretty negative towards
Yeah.
that, and I think it's still fairly negative to this day. But certain franchises have done a better job of transitioning into that than others. For instance,
Yeah, but it was a case where it was completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
Totally unnecessary.
I think there was a big cry for BioShock multiplayer.
I feel like they grabbed a bunch of people in a focus group, and all of those people said there needs to be multiplayer in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the BioShock, I don't know how to put this. Like the BioShock essence it's not in multiplayer. It's the storytelling. So
Yeah, exactly.
you don't need it. And I'm sure, Jet, you're probably right. If they did a focus group, what would you say bad about BioShock? You'd be like, well, there's no multiplayer, and that's all you can say. So it's not necessary at all. I'm trying to think of anything else I remember about Bioshock 2.
I remember Bioshock 2. I don't want to say it was... It's almost like they tried to make it like more scary on purpose. Like, whereas the other game was sort of just ambiently scary, like the atmosphere was terrifying. Like you said, Jay, you could hear the dripping of the water and it just constantly... Like, you walked around constantly nervous about what was going on. But I think that Bioshock 2 tended to have like more things jump out at you and sort of scarier setups. And I don't know if I enjoyed that as much as just sort of being terrified for no reason.
It's true.
Yeah, it felt a lot more forced.
Yeah, exactly.
I felt like Bioshock 2 wasn't quite as hard as Bioshock 1 either. But maybe I'm just getting confused. But I remember if you had a problem with like whatever you were fighting, you could just change your bullets in Bioshock 2 and you probably would do a lot more damage. Yeah. And it kind of took away from that essence of 1 where every shot really mattered. And if you messed up, you were like, well, crap. Like, now I have a big daddy chasing me and no bullets. Mm-hmm. And in Bioshock 2, I never felt that tension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Ken Levine make that one or no?
No.
No? It shows.
Absolutely. During that time, Igarashi and Ken Levine were working on their secret project, not Castlevania or Bioshock.
Mm-hmm. Or hopefully a combination of the two. Could you imagine a Castlevania game, like, in Rapture? That'd be so cool.
Or
like, the splicers are already, like, vampire-like. You could just kill them and level up.
Fighting Dracula as a big daddy.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Or if Dracula was a big daddy.
Yes.
Dear Lord.
With fangs painted on the front of the helmet.
Yeah, in comical fashion.
Patent pending.
Yeah, the little sisters are succubi.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this game sounds amazing.
I know.
Biovania 2020.
Yeah, Biovania, exactly.
Copyright the Recurring Boss Cast.
Yes. Biovania, I love it. I'd buy that.
Definitely.
So what about Bioshock Infinite?
I'm actually really excited. I've watched so many videos about it and read so much about it. I'm excited for it. Definitely.
So I'm the complete opposite. I'm super excited for it, but I've gone complete blackout. I know that there's a girl that's kind of with you, and it takes place in the sky, and you're a dude that kind of looks like Nathan Drake, and that's about it that I know. So enlighten me, Matt.
Okay, so you play as... It's kind of a little hazy right now. There's some details. At least that I know anyway. So you play as a guy that apparently owes a debt to some sort of either corporation or group of people. And the game starts off with you heading towards, surprise, a lighthouse. And you're in a boat, and basically you have this note that says, get this girl and bring her back, and the debt is settled. So you end up going up to this giant city in the sky and finding this girl, and it turns out that this girl has powers sort of beyond comprehension, and she can bring about, I think, either the end of the world or some sort of cataclysmic event. And the people that tasked you with bringing her back are basically expecting you to do that, but all of these other people don't want you to have her, so they chase you down, and the sort of game is your constant battle trying to keep her safe, and I guess sort of all the while discovering who the people you're working for are and what sort of hidden meaning behind your journey is. But that being said, I've watched a lot of the trailers, and there's a gameplay video as well for the first 5 minutes, I think, of the game. And it looks really good, and the graphics look really good, and the gameplay looks good. It's very sort of set out like a movie. All the trailers for it are, I mean, they could be mistaken for movie trailers.
Cool.
I think that's what's getting me. It's getting me excited.
Yeah, I'm equally excited, and I think I'll actually splurge and buy the game when it comes out, which I really never do. I think the last game I actually bought when it came out just for fun was Street Fighter Cross Tekken, which is now over a year old. So yeah, but this game, it looks so cool, and like you said, the story looks really neat, and the trailers really sell it on you. And yeah, man, I'm rubbing my hands in anticipation right now. Like, it looks so fun. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
I like the quote at the end of the trailer. It's like, she stands in front of him and she goes, "Are you afraid of God?" He's like, "No, but I'm afraid of you."
Yeah. And then it ends.
So cool. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Jet, you have to be excited for this game.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good.
I'm trying to keep my budget down on gaming, and I'm going to, at least this month, try and keep it to one $60 game this month, and that game is BioShock. So I will not
Good
be
choice.
playing Gears of War Judgment or God of War Ascension this month because of that.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to skip God of War altogether.
Yeah,
I've been hearing meh. So
I loved the first game. The second game, I stopped because of a game-breaking glitch. By the third game, I just got kind of tired of it.
Yeah.
wait, there's a game breaking glitch in God of War 2?
I ran into one.
Really?
Yeah, I think I have it documented on my blog at inthirdperson.com. It was really late in the game, and I just couldn't go any further, so I said, well, I'm done here.
That sucks. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's a good game.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
What do you guys, have you heard anything about, or what do you think will be multiplayer in Infinite? Is there multiplayer?
I heard it got scrapped.
Yeah, I heard it did too, but I didn't know if that was true.
Yeah, the game got pushed back a bunch of times for who knows what reason, but in the process of it getting pushed back, the multiplayer also got cut. So
True.
it is just a single-player game.
Which, multiplayer getting cut again should just show you how much Bioshock 2's multiplayer was completely obsolete.
Yeah.
Bioshock Infinite was supposed to come out in, like, August of last year, something like that?
Something
And
like
then it
that.
moved to, like, March, and now... No, it moved to, like... What? It moved November and now March or something? It got
It's
pushed
moved
back a
bunch
long
of times.
time.
Yeah.
So hopefully they get whatever they needed and make it good. What if it's not good?
Oh.
Don't say that.
Oh, are we going to SimCity this just like the last one?
Yeah. What if there's a horrible... Oh my gosh. If there's like
No,
a problem,
don't
I
do
think
it.
we need to
Don't
stop.
do it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, generally speaking, if they're creative and original, like the Bioshock 1 was, I think it'll do well, which I think it is. So
Yeah.
let's just wait till they have Bioshock Infinite 2 and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I'm sure the game will be great, but I feel like the way they've marketed it and the way the trailers look and how well the game looks, I'm sure it will sell great no matter how good the game is, but
Yeah, but whether or not it'll be a letdown,
exactly.
we have to wait
If it's like a really phenomenal game, I feel like it will solidify the Bioshock franchise that's coming out a lot, kind of like Assassin's Creed or something, maybe every other year.
Mhm.
And right now, I'd say that sounds cool. I'd go more Bioshock games.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
as
wait.
long as it's got a very strong story and atmosphere to it, then great. Even if it goes back to the same location, as long as they find a way to make it fresh, then I'm all in.
Right. Is this one is it in the same world as the first Bioshock?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think this one takes place before the first game, but I don't know if that means they're in the same universe or not.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of Easter egg that hinted at it, like a Big Daddy statue or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a sign that says, "Would you kindly?" Or a golf club. A bent golf club.
How mad would you be if there was a "Would you kindly" twist in that game that happened right in the middle of it?
Yeah.
I'd be pretty upset. But thinking of it right now, if they did it and they purposely made it comical, that'd be pretty hilarious. Someone's
Yeah,
like, "Would
that'd
you
be pretty
kindly
cool.
go get me a glass of water?" And the person's like, "Who the hell says 'would you kindly'? Just get him a drink." Oh, I would laugh so hard. That'd be so funny.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
And the hook thing that you slide along the lines with.
Yeah, I
That's
saw
pretty
that
sweet.
at
Oh, yeah. Different
Yeah.
lands.
I saw that during the Spike VGAs when they showed that
Yeah.
trailer for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looked alright. So
Bioshock.
anything else you guys want to add on Bioshock Infinite or the Bioshock series?
No, I
Last
mean, if you're
words?
getting into it for the first time, definitely start with Bioshock 1. Maybe not so much Bioshock 2.
Agreed.
Play it for completion if you want to actually just see I guess you could call it the completion of the story, but yeah, kind of tacked on, so not necessary, but fun nonetheless.
Wait, I got another question. So, the first Bioshock came out around the time of, was it Modern Warfare? So, what do you... comparing the games is kind of silly because Bioshock is all single player, really, and Modern Warfare is multi. But what do you think has the better gunplay and shooting?
I'd say Call of Duty, hands down.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would say gunplay, definitely Call of Duty, but if you use the combination of guns and tonics and all that kind of stuff, then I think it's more fun to play Bioshock.
Yeah.
I'd rather say Call of Duty.
I'd rather shoot someone than throw a grenade or call a whatever UAV.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know.
I think the just the straight up combat in Call of Duty is so tight, even in like multiplayer where everything's just like finely balanced and stuff, that I think as someone who would just want to like shoot things, I feel like that is more fun to me. But I think there's definitely creative opportunities that come with the skill sets you get in the Bioshock games.
Yeah.
Which gives it a different twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm gonna say right now, Bioshock Infinite, Game of the Year candidate, and it'll win Game of the Year.
I'm reluctant to name or predict any current gen game getting Game of the Year this year.
True.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Oh, I just said true. You got a good point.
Yeah. I'm waiting to see what the Durango and the PlayStation 4 have in store.
It's a good point. But
What?
offhand, I really can't think of any other huge game coming out this year that I'm really excited for. That could possibly be Game of the Year.
Last of Us?
Oh yeah, Last of Us. That's a good one.
Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond Two
Yeah.
Souls. We don't really know a whole lot about
No,
that,
we
though.
don't.
But
Yeah, we don't.
I think Last of Us could, depending on how well it lives up to its own hype, that could be a potential candidate.
The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Super Luigi Brothers U?
No.
Oh,
cool though.
I
but
never
no.
thought about that one. Clear candidate.
Disney Infinity.
Yeah,
Oh, Grand Theft Auto 5. Yeah, that's a good one.
that too. But there's no way that's winning Game of the Year.
Yeah, just looking at this list of games coming out, but
They pushed Grand Theft Auto 5 back to September, possibly
September.
to be closer timed with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox Durango releases of Grand Theft Auto 5.
I don't know. I'm telling you though, if they launch them at the same time, I'm not buying a new system just to play it.
yeah,
I'll just get it on PS3.
Oh man, but I would want. Well, I guess it depends. I've thought about it because there's going to be a lot of games that port between the two systems, and I like to say that I want the superior version. But if it's going to mean I have to spend $500+ on a new system, or I could just pay $60 and get the game, it's
Well,
gonna
not only
have-
that, but
there has
they
to
better
be,
showcase the difference
Yeah.
between between platforms because like if I could spend $60 and get the PS3 or Xbox 360 version and have a good time with it, why spend $500 more just to get it on a newer
and
system?
it'll have better smoke effects or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Better bloom lighting or
Yeah,
something.
because the graphic jump that I've seen so far is, I mean, it's there, but it's not as dramatic as the jump from non-HD to HD.
Yeah, totally.
At least for now. I mean,
Yeah.
the systems will get better over time, but I think the immediate term stuff is not going to be that big of a jump. At least I think. Or at least I tell myself that to
justify not.
justify not buying a new system.
To stop your wallet from panicking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other thing I could think about adding on here would be just other games that have come out since that have taken influence from BioShock, and there's just so many.
Yeah, really. I almost feel like every shooter that I'd be interested in should take influence from Bioshock because you got a lot right.
Yeah, Batman did.
Yeah, big time. Not even a shooter.
Not even a shooter. The Unfinished Swan did, which is kind of a shooter, but not really. Other games that took influence. Portal? Yeah, sort of, kind of. The narrator?
The narrator, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say.
I'm having a hard time thinking off the top of my head, but just
Yeah, I
so
am
many
too.
games have taken cues from BioShock that, its influence on current gen gaming cannot be ignored.
Totally.
All right, and let's wrap things up.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Bioshock Infinite coming out in not too long from now. I don't know if it'll be out by the time the next episode is ready, but at some point we're probably all going to be talking about Bioshock Infinite and whether or not it's any good.
Right. Probably be good. I'm going to say it's good.
Fingers crossed. No SimCity.
Yeah, hope we don't
Hopefully it
curse it.
breaks the Bosscast SimCity Bosscast curse.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
the boss cursed.
In the meantime, Jason, what do you got going on?
Well, I today actually just published the 4th episode of my Game Hunter video series on YouTube. So you can catch that at Slick Gaming. It's all about video game collecting. And last week I did another article in my worth playing series of written articles. It's about a specific genre or type of game. I list a whole bunch of games that you might not have heard of that are really good, that are worth playing. And this time, Volume 5 is all about remakes. So all the games listed are all remakes of the games before them. And there's some fun ones. Definitely games to check out. So those are already up now. And I'm excited. I get to review later Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for the 3DS.
Ooh.
Nice.
So that'd be fun. So that's probably in a week or two. Maybe we'll get that one out. But it should be pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to that one. But that's what I got going on.
I watched a little bit of your Game Hunter video today, and man, you have a ton of games.
Oh yeah, I showed my little corner of games.
That's so many games. Also, how are you going to bring all of that stuff to California?
Yeah, about that. So I think I'll get them in a tote, and I'll wrap them with some bubble wrap so they don't get damaged or anything. I'll put them in a separate box, and we'll try to get as few boxes as we can to get them over there. But hopefully it just goes well. I'm just hoping it falls into place. So we'll see. But they are going to make the trip within a month. So if any of them break, I'll be very, very upset. Very, very upset.
Matt, what do you got going on?
So my review for Mirror of Fate went live, I think Monday, a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that's up there on Biff Bam Pop. And my best, I was doing an article on the best Marvel games, or my favorite Marvel games. We talked a bit about it on the end of the last podcast. That got pushed back a little bit, so that won't be out for a tiny bit, probably another week or so.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got to do a G.I. Joe article. I don't know if you guys have ever seen them, but have you guys ever seen the G.I. Joe PSAs,
Yes.
the funny ones on YouTube?
Yes.
Man, they're so funny.
Classic.
If you haven't seen them, you have to look them up. Some classics are the pork chop sandwiches, PSA, or the body massage, or the ice skating. There's a ton of them. You gotta watch it, or watch them rather. So I'm gonna see if maybe I can sort of shoehorn that into the article a little bit. I have no idea how I'm gonna do that, but yeah.
I know you can find a way.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. We'll see what happens. I am also tomorrow, actually, around lunch hour, going to a Injustice: Gods Among Us preview.
Ooh, jealous.
So I'm going to go try that out, see what it looks like, and I will let you guys know on the next Bosscast.
Awesome.
Nice.
I have played a little bit of that game, and I thought it was awesome. So I hope you think it is awesome as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And the guy I'm going with, Andy from Biff Man Pop, he's a big fan too, so should be a good time.
Great. What's going on? Oh, speaking of Marvel Month, Dan from Splitkick has been playing a bunch of Marvel games for his show Bits of Reality, but he's been playing mostly bad Marvel games. So he did play, though, what's that game? The X-Men Super Nintendo game made by Capcom. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Oh.
It's like a mix of X-Men meets Mega Man X meets Street Fighter.
What?
Oh, you haven't heard of this one? It's...
No, I'm looking this up.
Okay.
Is it X-Men Mutant Apocalypse? No, X-Men Mutant
I
Apocalypse?
think so.
Let me see.
Is it the one with, the cover's all red and Cyclops is going all nuts on it?
I don't remember.
I see that cover right here. Yeah. Mutant. Yeah, that's what it is. Mutant Apocalypse.
So, yes, that is a game where I think it's in like the Mega Man X engine. So it's a 2D game where you move left, right, up and down,
Like a
and you
platformer.
fight dudes, and it's a platformer / brawler, and then each of your guys gets Street Fighter like special moves.
Oh yeah, you're
So,
right.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I've never heard of this game.
I have a copy here for my SNES. It is awesome.
Jealous.
Nice.
So yeah, Bits of Reality. Dan's been playing a lot of Marvel games. What else is going on Splitkick? My Fire Emblem review is out now. A little late to the party, but it's there. It's great. Go check that out. Well, the game is great. My review, yeah, it's okay, I guess. Not to say that I'm not confident in my writing, but yeah, I think it turned out okay. Next for me will be Darkstalkers Resurrection. And what else is going on Splitkick? Davey Huggs has put out his big Skyrim Mods ENB edition. So that is a special type of mod, makes stuff look really pretty. His Crysis 3 review is also out, and like Matt said, he didn't like it all that much. John has put up his review for the Seven Wonders. It is a board game.
Fun board game.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, you played it?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
A while ago, but yeah,
Oh.
it's a cool one.
Yeah, we were at Splitkick was actually giving away a bunch of copies of that game. Check out the review for the details for a chance to win that, if it's still going on by then. And what else is going on? Splitkick at PAX. So it is Jim and Ben and John and Holly are going to PAX this weekend. So make sure to go say hi to them. At some point, I have to play Street Fighter with Ben to get him trained up because he's entering a tournament and does not want to end up in last place.
That's awesome.
So we'll try.
He's got a good coach for sure.
We'll try and sort that out. I know he's participated in tournaments before. I don't know how well he's done then, but we'll see what we can do. All right, last few things. Definitely check out the Rocket Jump podcast. Old Game Plus. You can email us at bosscast@splitkick.com. Download us on iTunes. You can also review us on iTunes. On Twitter, Matty Lang, Jay Jasicki, Jetlandicho. Anything else?
Would you kindly?
Yes. Would you kindly tune in next time?